Welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've filmed a full 18 holes. This is coming to you from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and this is the Gauntlet golf course. And don't worry, this is the only time you'll see it filmed this way. It will switch back in just a moment. Basically, the starter didn't have good vibes. He was kind of an asshole, just to be straight up. So I was kind of worried about filming there. Had my wife film the first tee shot, and you can see we are back to normal. This course, for those that haven't played it, and by saying for those that haven't played it, add me to that list because I have actually not played this my first time. And you can see, by the way, I was just shook. Didn't have time to warm up. You know it's a bad look when you have to reach for the quick reload, hit a second ball. Come on, we've all been there. You hit a terrible shot, you duff it, you thin it, and just want to kind of get a feel, especially on hole one. So again, rushed, anxious, but we are back, and not a bad bogey to start considering that, one, I don't know the course. That's what I was trying to mention a second ago. This is actually the first time I've played this course. Whenever I play a new course, I personally, breaking 80 would be fantastic. Being realistic, breaking 85 is very reasonable. And yeah, you're going to see, and if you haven't gotten it from the thumbnail and the title, this was just not a good round of golf. And this course, you know, in addition to not knowing it, it actually runs, I think it's a 71.8 rating with a 140 slope from the tees that I'm playing. Correct, 140. That's pretty high. And I think it's playing about 6,400 yards from the tees that I'm playing. So this is not an easy course by any stretch of the imagination. And as I mentioned that, look at that birdie, a little toilet bowl birdie, no big deal. The putting god is back again, easy mode. But like I was saying a second ago, so this course, you know, while it doesn't seem hard per se, you know, 140 slope is crazy, but 6,400 is maintainable. When I was looking at the scorecard, there aren't a lot of long holes. There's a couple that give me trouble, but I thought to myself, you know, this is a really good chance to try and score and have ourselves a day. If you couldn't tell, man, that was a pretty good lag putt. I actually thought I drained it. But if you couldn't tell from kind of the background there with the trees, you know, there's no leaves. You can see I'm in a long sleeve. I actually take that off in a moment, but you know, for what it's worth, this was filmed in January of 2023, and to be exact, this was New Year's Day. My wife and I actually spent time at the in-laws. We decided to play this because I think we had some free time, and so you don't have to twist my arm. You know I'm going to the golf course, but by the way, this was probably shot of the day. I threw an absolute dart. I think that was like 150-ish to 155, take an 8-iron. We put it to about 8-10 feet, and another toilet bowl for the win. My only pet peeve about this, and doesn't help the cause when I've already drained a couple cool putts, but because it's technically winter season, and I can't remember if it was just aerated or aerated somewhat recently, the greens were all over the place. It wasn't in great condition. You can see the fairways there. They're still growing back. I never fault a golf course for, you know, these conditions during the winter. If anything, it was actually pretty good. Look at the conditions. I'm blaming that on the course right there. The chunky monkey that I just had, yeah, that's the course's fault. Absolutely not mine. But for being wintertime, January 1, the conditions actually weren't that bad. You know, just whatever I got to tell myself to sleep at night to shake off this horrible, horrible round. And it's little things like these. Take a look at that. That's a 3-putt from like 10 feet. I rarely do that. Your boy is just, man, that's when you know it's not going to be a good day. But anyway, you know, the saying goes, memory of a goldfish. Let's move on. We have a scoreable par 3 where I think the card, and you can see on the little marker there, it's about 165. I think it was playing extra short. I do remember taking an 8-iron, and 165 definitely is the top of my range. I don't think that'll ever happen. So I think that was playing like 155-ish. Obviously, I hit it short because, again, we are just not swinging well. And as I'm learning pretty quickly, you can see some of these putts, there's never just like a straight putt on this course. So shout out to the Gauntlet where, you know, I think where the 140 slope comes in, there's a lot of forced carry. There's a lot of OB and narrow fairways like this one right here. But the greens were tricky, and especially, again, you're going to see, I think, on a few holes, the ball just doesn't even roll. It's kind of crazy. We're going to blame it on that. But yeah, it's already crazy contour and a lot of break in the greens, but when they're also not in great condition, makes it hard to score. So back to the round, and we actually put a good stroke on that one. We're not results oriented out here. Good stroke, not mad. Clean it up, move on. So you'll notice that I'm actually not that far off from a pretty decent round, especially when I told you breaking 80 is great, breaking 85 would be awesome, but you know, floating around 4 to 5 over for the front 9 would be fantastic. And then you have this monster of a hole. I got really lucky with this 3-wood, but I can't remember. This might have been one of the higher handicap holes. It is a monster of a hole. It's like 425 par 4. If you don't catch the speed slot, I mean, I hit driver 3-wood, and it took everything to get me to this hole. And so I'm really happy to be walking away with the par. And then when I warned you earlier that you can see this is hole 9, you're actually headed back to the clubhouse, which you'll see in a moment. So apologies in advance. You're going to get some weird angles coming up for the next couple shots, including the tee shot in hole 10. But you can see here, water on the left, driving range on the left. You have the clubhouse there. It's actually a really cool shot coming in. Notice how it's bare trees, no leaves. It's pretty naked there. And the water wasn't really flowing, wasn't clean. I could see this being a really cool shot coming in when everything's in full peak season, golf season that is. And then you'll notice here I panicked again. No tripod, and I had my wife just film it, so we actually don't even get the shot. And by the way, how funny is that? Yeah, I forgot to get the shot. It just messed up as I'm dead center fairway on a par 5. For what it's worth, though, from what I remember, I don't think I actually caught it. I might have gone like a whopping 230. So this is a really scoreable 5. For those long hitters out there, I think this plays like 470, 480. It's a very gettable 5, unless you're me and you have a terrible tee shot and then a terrible second shot. So here we go. We got a putt for par, and when I told you that this round gets ugly, it starts right here. We have a bogey on a short par 5 where my second shot is center of the fairway. You know, that definitely didn't affect me, right? Definitely not thinking about it. We then snap hook, and I think that tracer was lenient. This was pretty snappy from what I remember. We snap hook it left, and guess what? We try to do a punch, and what's comical here, and I don't think you'll see it in the next shot with the camera, but there's like literally one place. You see to the right there? There's like literally one place to go OB on this hole, and of course I hit it. I go right into the OB. Just, before we have some of the YouTube haters out there, why did the drop? Was it parallel to where it was? Why wasn't it near the entry zone? It was just like a marsh of water, and decided to find just the first dry piece of land and drop it. But anyway, that was pretty cool. We end up getting up and down from there for a whopping double bogey. We are now 3 over through 2 holes on the back 9. Not a good start. But this is actually a hole that can get me back on track. We have a 140-yard par 3. From what I remember, I think it was playing slightly shorter than that. I remember I take 9-iron and hit it to pin high. So we put a really good putt. You know what? Hey, maybe the tides are turning. Maybe that's the winds of change. We just needed a par. We needed to see one just go in the hole, and maybe we'll be back, right? No, because here comes a par 5, and it's actually a monster. You can see it was like 560, 570. So I snap hook it into the trees. I actually hit a really good 3 hybrid. And from what I remember, by the way, this approach shot, just to give you an idea, I can't remember the yardage, but that was a 4-iron. The fact I went driver hybrid 4-iron, I'm pretty sure it was into the wind from what I remember a tiny bit. And remember, it's January, so even though I'm in a t-shirt, it's not exactly the warmest, but I guess it wasn't cold. I don't even know. Anyway, take a look at this. Just watch the green. Oh my God. Do you see the ball bouncing there? That's what we had to deal with on half these holes. They were actually, the back 9. Yeah, we're going to blame it on that. The back 9, why it fall apart because of the greens. There's the 3 putt. But you can kind of see the texture and the makeup of the green. They were either pretty dang good for being in the winter, or they were just absolutely horrible with patches and unputtable. But yeah, we just happened to have a really bad one there, and I think you saw it on camera. That thing was just bouncing nonstop. So anyway, back to the round. We have a pretty simple par 4. Remember on the card when I looked at this and looked at it on the mini map, very straightforward. It's just straight, not a lot of bunkers. You can miss wide left, and of course I butcher it because this is just comical. So not only do you miss a green, if you're going to miss a green, you better clean it up with a 2-putt. Good job, Mark. Nice 2-putt there, buddy. Really good cleanup, right? And I actually take my time. Look at that. Yep. So we missed that. You're going to see me just pissed. I'm blaming the green. I'm blaming the cup, blaming that. I missed that. And we're just going to do the typical, we're gonna count it as the double bogey, as it should be. But yeah, you're gonna see me just re-putt it, and man, that's when you know you're just searching for answers. So, geez, what's better than a quick, a nice little 214 par 3? And again, there's swirling wind if you haven't noticed, but yeah, we leave that one really short. The funny part is I actually take my 215, 220 club and I pure it, and I'm still short somehow. We end up with a really good chip, and yeah, we smoke it. After the last hole, I can't believe I just one-hand tapped that one. At the rate that we're putting and how we're putting, not great. And take a look at this. It's a complete dog leg right. This is when you know it's bad. Take a look at my swing here. I was actually aiming, you can see I was aiming to cut the corner, and I was really going for the green. I think I needed like a 260, 270 carry. I really swung hard. I end up snap hooking it, and luckily that's where the miss was, back onto the fairway. This is just really hard to watch and relive. It is interesting though, and for those that are maybe following the channel, all 360 plus subscribers of mine, the huge following we got, but basically I've noticed, and one of the benefits of filming yourself while on camera is you can notice how crappy your swing is on camera. I've noticed a lot of little things, especially with putting as well, but my driver swing, I was way too low, way too flat. I'm actually more upright now, and that goes for iron shots and little things, but it is just interesting to see my swing from take a look there. I'm in a really bad position where, because I start so low and flat, the club has to come over the top. Luckily, I can save it with a draw because of my hands, but this is just a long-winded way of saying I got a lot taller, and I'm trying to be a little more upright in my takeaway so I can shallow it out. It's not perfect, but we've gotten better. The next few videos, which are a little more recent, again, this was back in January of 2023, you're going to see a few videos coming up which are more recent. You're going to see some of the changes that I've been working really, really hard on. So anyway, we're on hole 17. You notice the tee shot OB. We hit into the bunker after the drop. We get it out, and we're still a good 30 feet away. This is just damage control at this point, and you can see with my score after this one, we are 15 over par. This is a par 72. So basically my live score is 87 if I par this hole, but basically I'm saying to myself, Mark, do not triple this hole. Just don't triple. We need to break 90. We need to salvage this for anything and walk away with your head high. You can see I hit a tee shot. I tried to cut the corner, so I'm actually not mad at that shot. We end up in an okay place. I don't mind hitting out of the rough. So we cut a lot of yardage off by going to where I am. You probably want to take the fairway if you're a smarter player than me, but you can see I then chunk a 9-iron, which ends up short. It was good contact, just a slightly tad heavy. And then I hit a really good chip shot where you'll see me actually walk up to this one. And I actually thought I holed it. You can see it was kind of hard to see, and I thought I holed it from my angle, and it just stopped where, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take this one. And I'm laughing to myself because, man, I took it, but based on other holes with the putting, wasn't great. Look at the green, by the way, not ideal. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. That puts us at a live score of 87 to finish. If you liked what you saw, show some love. And until my next round, where I have Bristow Manor coming up.